Thank you. Now that you've learned how to eat really well and to exercise well, one has to ask, what else is there? Well, there is something else to get to what we call optimum health. And to get to to have optimum health to me is that platform where we could learn to feel young and also to act young. Not that that is a bad thing. Okay, can you hear me? Okay, is that okay now? Okay, so what we're trying to do is to get to a point where we have optimum health. And so what is optimum health? It's not merely a freedom from disease, but a sense of physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being, plus the best that we can be. So even with people that I work with in the cancer center, when they have an illness that they're dealing with, they can aspire to feel well and to feel young. Even if it's for half an hour, for half a day, that is something that we should aim at, small increment. So how do we get to optimum health? First, good nutrition. As Lisa, the first speaker, has very nicely taught us what to eat, what not to eat, how to eat, the portion, the amount, and also the physical activities balanced with rest. If you do nothing else but exercise all day long, which I have had people, I've known people who actually exercise like 4 or 5 hours a day, that is not a good idea. But you have to balance that with rest. Same thing as I advise patients at the cancer center, that when you're very, very tired, the immediate inclination is to, oh, I'm really tired, I want to fall asleep, is to go to sleep. And the more you sleep, and the more you kind of don't do anything, the lack of activities, the more tired you become. And from the Chinese medicine perspective, it is really about lacking in qi and lacking in the blood moving in a way that will serve you well. So rest is important. Good nutrition is certainly very important, balanced with right amount of exercises or physical activities, because exercises makes people feel like, wow, I have to do exercises. Physical activities seems like a nicer word for it. And today I'm really going to focus on emotional equilibrium and spiritual well-being. Okay, what does spiritual well-being actually mean? When I talk about spiritual well-being, I'm not talking in a religious sense, more like the very essence of who we are, and how do we know who we are? That is a very difficult question to answer. I remember once when I was studying 5-element acupuncture and Chinese medicine, the first question that was posed was, who are we? I thought, wow, I've never had to answer that question. Who am I? Some people say, I am so-and-so, and I am Ooi-Thye Chong. And I thought, well, that isn't really quite enough. Maybe I am who I was, and I am who I am now, plus who I will be. I still felt that that wasn't quite enough. But you will find that when people are not living the life that is like your blueprint, if you're not living the life of your blueprint, in a sense, you know that. How do you know that? People start to feel that their life is not uniquely suited to the way it should be. They don't feel at home in their own body. So sometimes there's emotional agitation, and when you're not living the way your blueprint, then there's sometimes depression and anxiety. So spiritual well-being from the Chinese medicine perspective, it is your Shen. The Shen translated is like the essence of yourself. I think some people who study Chinese medicine might want to argue with me on that, but that's the closest translation I could give you. And it's so important to have that. How do we get also to get to learn to who are we? That very essence of who we are. That is a very difficult thing to do. You may have to go to find out by just listening to your own body, looking around and see, is my life turning out the way I want it to be? Am I happy? Am I contented? Because if you believe me, if you walk around feeling that your life somehow it's not turning out the way you want it to be, it will show in your face, it will show in your eyes. Your quality of sleep is probably not going to be as good as it should be. I try to look for pictures that show eyes that have no Shen in it, no spirit. Do you guys cook? You go shopping? So when you go to the fish store, oftentimes when you look at a fish, the eyes are very cloudy, and that is not a fish that has got good Shen in it. It's not fresh. There's no spirit in that fish anymore. So that is not somebody, well, that fish is dead. I obviously couldn't picture a dead body, but you look at this little girl, look at her eyes, bright, nice smile, nice skin, and okay, she's still very young, she doesn't really know if she's living the life that she ought to be, but if a child is not treated nicely, you can be sure that you can see sometimes the eyes are not how it should be. And if you look around people who are sad or maybe dealing with some depression, you see it through the eyes often. Okay, what do I mean by emotional equilibrium? One of the things that I notice working with people for so long within a sick as well as a healthy environment, I noticed that men are very, very good at not talking about their emotions. Women in general are much better at talking about their emotions. So if you don't talk about your emotions, in some sense, that is emotional disequilibrium. And you hold things in. Say, for example, if you are feeling frustrated and angry, and you have no way to vent that, to talk about that, it's not that you should not feel angry or frustrated. Those are very important emotions, and you can turn it in a way that works for you. But if you hold the emotions like anger in all the time, you could just fly off the handle, get angry at people. Or how often do you hear people talk about, oh my God, I don't want to go near that person. I don't know when he's going to or she's going to fly off the handles. And if you are able to maintain emotional equilibrium, you feel much better in yourself. Your digestion will be better. All the good food that you eat will get absorbed more, easier. And you will feel like every time I eat, I don't have regurgitation because it's calmer. Your digestion is much better. And you feel that whenever I eat, the food doesn't sit in my stomach. So I use the emotion anger because oftentimes in the course of my work, I come across a lot of people with acid regurgitation, indigestion, constipation alternating with diarrhea. And in Chinese medicine, we call that liver attacking your stomach. Liver being the organ system, not the Western liver, I call it my Chinese liver, that deal with anger, frustration, and the qi of the liver goes up this way. If you are so tense and you are not able to express the anger, the qi has, instead of going up, it has nowhere else to go. It goes sideways and attacks your digestive system. That's when people get regurgitation, sour stomach, indigestion, generally not feeling very good after they've eaten. So they start taking Prilosec. And I would say, no, come off it. We can do something about this. Let's learn some stress management skills. So it is very important to keep emotions in balance. There is a lot of health consequences if anger is allowed to get out of balance. It's not only just anger that there are lots of other emotions, but we won't have time to talk about that tonight. So there's very simple everyday strategies that is cheap, doesn't cost any money. Wake up and smell the roses, so to speak. Or wake up and smell the coffee, if you are coffee lovers. I tell people it doesn't really cost a lot to just now take a deep breath in. Just focus your breathing, your attention on your breathing now, all of you. Just take a deep breath in and then focus. You will find that, wow, that kind of put me in touch with what I'm feeling now and what I could do when I'm feeling really angry or frustrated or upset. Do simple things like if you live near a park, take a walk in the park. Commune with nature. It's not about going out to the supermarket and buy your organic food. That's not communing with nature. Oftentimes, when I suggest this to my patients, I sometimes feel a little bit hesitant because I thought, oh goodness, they're going to think I'm a little bit cuckoo. To say, when you walk into the park, take a few deep breaths in first. Take your shoes off when the weather is nice and put your feet firmly planted on the soil. That is communing with nature. You're connecting your energy to the earth's energy. You may not feel the earth shake, but over time you will see the difference. And I always say, if you live near Central Park, you can lie down, look at the sky, and watch the wind and the sky interact and move. That sounds really strange, but you can see the wind blowing and the sky and the cloud moving. At night, look up at the moon. Connect with that cosmic energy. Look at the stars. Plant some plants. And that is energy, that's life, and that's very, very important. So that to me is communing with nature. Now, how does one enrich one's life in activities one loves? Oftentimes people get depressed, they don't have anything interesting to do, they don't want to do things, just like the previous speaker talked about not wanting to do exercises, excuses. So pick up a hobby, be it exercise or go shopping for nice, delicious, nutritious food to nurture yourself. These are activities that you could do. People like to go to listen to music or read a book or walk in the park or swimming. Anything that you like to do, pick something that has meaning to you that you like to do, that also maybe even help a neighbor to do things. This will help you maintain emotional balance and keep yourself feeling young. Not so simple strategy. It was a little bit tongue-in-cheek when I put this in. Don't worry about a problem before it manifests. So Buddhist, isn't it? Deal with it when it does. Don't cling to what has already passed. Because I have people who comes to me, kept thinking about what if this happened and what if that happens. And do you know how much energy that consumes? Certainly, again, from the Chinese medicine perspective, too much worrying eats into your digestive system, and it really destroys your ability to digest food. I often tell people it's not what you put into your mouth, it's also how you digest your food. Food should be a gift to all our senses. First, beautifully prepared food, all the different colors that Lisa talked about, is a gift to the eyes. When you prepare the food, the smell is a gift to the sense of smell, the nose. When you eat it, and why do you think in Chinese cooking the vegetables are kind of stir-fry? You hear the crunchiness. And it's a gift to the ears. There was a study that showed that, I think it was done in England, people who eat crisps enjoy the crisps more if they could hear the crunch. Those people who kind of were not allowed to listen to the crunching really didn't enjoy the crisps as much. I know for a fact that crunchy food adds to the quality of how you eat, enjoy your food. And food should be a gift to your taste buds. Last but not least, it should nourish the soul and the body and your spirit. So, that was a little bit of a diversion, but not quite. So don't worry about things that didn't happen. Deal with it when it's done. When it's there, once it's done, move on. Don't get stuck. Because then if you get stuck with it, it creates fear. Fear consumes energy from the kidney. And the kidney in Chinese medicine is responsible for your sexual energy. Not all, but one part of it. So don't spend too much time on dwelling on your fear. So, emotional balance, how to calm your body and mind. I do a lot of breath work and using essential oils. It's just no big secret, just simple breath in, focus your attention on your breath in, and breath out. And those are simple things that you can do. It's free. You don't have to go to a yoga class. If you're anxious, waiting for exams, you could do the breath work. If you're anxious, wait to see a doctor. Focus on the deep, gentle breath in and gentle breath out. If you like to read, having a book is like having a garden in your pocket. Being able to do that breath work is really like having a garden in your pocket. You can just wander off and do your own breathing. I use a lot of mandarin oil because in Chinese medicine, mandarin moves qi. A lot of us New Yorkers have qi stagnation. And qi stagnation comes from frustration and anger, some of it. So the mandarin oil you can easily buy from any health food store. I use organic one, and you can just put a few drops when you feel a little bit stressed or frustrated with people. Rub it on your palm. It's very refreshing. I also like to tell people, advise people, suggest people to do some yoga not the power yoga or fashion yoga that I see some people do, but the relaxation type of yoga that really focuses on breath work and restorative, restoring yourself. Oops. This morning, I heard a little report from NPR about Tai Chi, how Tai Chi has helped a group of people with, I think, Parkinson's disease. It was done in the University of Oregon to maintain their balance, to help, when they fall, to break a fall. So this we can all do. As we get older, we don't have as much flexibility. Yoga will help with the flexibility, and the Qigong as well. Qigong is one branch of Chinese medicine that works with the breath and coordinated movements that raise awareness to your own body, to promote the smooth flow of qi and therefore enhance health. Qigong and Tai Chi are more or less the same but different. We heard about how exercises can cause inflammation in the muscles. Massage helps with not the inflammation, but to deal with the inflammation of the muscles, and therefore you heal quicker and better. Last but not least, acupuncture. You've heard of facial acupuncture. A lot of people believe that it really helps to rejuvenate the face. So you also look young and feel young. Of course, when you do facial acupuncture, it's not just the face. Always there's body acupuncture, although some emphasis is on the face. Because if you don't eat well, if you don't exercise, and you don't have emotional balance, it is very difficult to feel young, feel healthy, to have optimum health. Not to say it's impossible, but it's just difficult. Acupuncture have also been shown to be good for insomnia. Remember the previous lecture, we talked about how insomnia can also, if you don't sleep well, you can also put on weight. It can help with restlessness, anxiety. For women with menopausal symptoms and hot flashes, certainly pain management. We also learned that breath work can help with stress management, and of course, Qigong yoga, massage, flexibility, a sense of well-being. In summary, in order to feel young and look young and feel healthy, we need to have really good nutrition, coupled with physical activities and balance with rest. And of course, must never forget emotional equilibrium and spiritual well-being. And thank you for your attention.